Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and I am the Scraptastic crocheter. And as you can see, I have something I'm working on today. So I just want to show you how I created this type of join. It's a join and as you go type of join, and I don't know exactly how you should lay it out for a correct, really good join as you go method, but I'm only really wanting to show how you get the look of the stitches here, because it is a little bit different to how some of the other joins look. And I know it might be hard to see since I'm using black, but black just felt like the only the only color that works good with all the colors of all the squares I have. So what I have here is I did this part and I'm gonna join this one to it. I'm just gonna show you how I did. So I did this side and I did chain one here for the corner, but now I'm basically just gonna go straight into the corner on this one and make 2 double crochets like so. And after that I'm gonna pull out a little bit so I have the loop, and I'm going to go to the square I had here, and in the space between I'm gonna put my hook in and I'm gonna fish out from behind like so. And after that I'm going to jump over 2 stitches. All my my double crochets are made in between stitches, so here we got 2, and then I'm going into the space between, not in the stitches, in the space between the stitches. So I'm making 2 more double crochets, pulling out the loop, and then I'm checking I was in this space here, so now I'm going into the next space to fish up this loop and jump over 2 stitches and the space between the stitches. It is very simple, and the only thing you need to have to be able to do this is an even number of stitches on the squares you want to join together, because I'm jumping over 2 stitches, so it's all in 2s all the way, and with an even number this will work. And the squares I have here are called willow squares. I did follow a random Pinterest diagram a while back when I made them, but yeah, these squares have been long since forgotten. I did a video talking about these squares, and I looked back and I believe it was in April of last year that I talked about the squares, but at that point it had been a while since I actually made them, and now we are in August, the year after. So yeah, they have been laying around for a while, waiting for me to actually decide what they're going to become. And I have an idea. Question is just if I'm gonna be able to pull it off, because I've been worried the whole time that I'm not gonna have enough squares, and I don't have any more of this yarn because it's a discontinued yarn, so I have to make it work with the squares I have. But I could also add more black to it, so I think I'm gonna be able to do something with it either way. But I did get inspired by Dawn YarnDoll to play with these squares, because she's been making some cardigans out of squares she's made, and I have these laying around, so I might as well get to it and do something with them. So once I've gotten closer to seeing if I'm gonna have enough, yeah, that's when I'm gonna decide Worst case scenario, this is turning into a blanket. So now I'm getting closer to this corner part here. I'm working into the corner space and making the 2 double crochets. And since a normal corner would be 2 chains, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to pull out the loop. But here I'm not going into the next chain space, I'm going to the one diagonally from here. So that means I'm going in over here in the space between, in the corner there, to fish this up, because I think it's a little bit of a neater finish to do that. And I will do an extra chain over this because it's a larger space, so I just want to close it. And then I'm doing the second chain for the corner, so only one extra to tighten that space up. And then I'm going for the second cluster in this corner here. But now I'm also going to join to this side, so that means I'm gonna start picking up the spaces on this side to join it here. And there we go. And I still continue to jump over 2 stitches and make the 2 double crochets just like I did before. You can of course do similarly with you know, 3 double crochets if you're doing a granny, with how you join them together. Oh, just because I'm talking about 3, I'm almost made 3 in that one. That's not what we're doing. But this, like, fishing up from behind, if you're joining granny squares together, you could definitely do that, because it is a really easy technique. I know some people do not like dropping the stitch. If you just pull it out and then you pinch it between your fingers, it's not going to go anywhere. So if that makes it feel more secure for you, then that might be worth trying. I am doing a kind of a join as you go. I didn't start doing that at first because I had already actually put the border on one of the squares way back when, only to see if it looked good. So I had to work around the fact that that one's already made, and it kind of made my join as you go layout scheme, well, where I started wasn't where I would preferably start, so it means I'm probably gonna have to cut and join a few times just because of that. But there's ways to do join as you go. And basically do a full project joining your squares if you really wanted to. So it is possible, just not for me because I didn't think that far ahead when I started this. But it's fine. I'm doing as much as I can without having to cut, which is a win for me because I don't like sewing in the yarn tails, and it saves me a lot of yarn tails. So I'm almost at this corner here, and you will see that we're basically gonna end where I started. Almost. So we're going into this corner here, and then the last attachment is going to be a chain 1 since we are in the corner space, and then I am going diagonally over to this square again into this corner space to pick up the loop. And this time I'm only gonna do a chain 1 to finish this corner, because the extra one to cinch it all up is going to come from the other side anyway when I attach the next square. But from here on out, I am only going to crochet the side, because I don't have this square yet to attach. So we're making these small clusters all the way around, or not all the way around, all along this side, and you will see that that's where I started, more or less. But from there on out, I'm just going to add another square and do exactly the same way, and I'm going to explain why in just a little bit, but it's going to make sense soon. So just a few more stitches. And now I'm in the next chain space here, so I'm going to make the half of this corner, and from here on out I'm going to chain 1 and just randomly getting one of the next squares. Here we go. Here's another one. I'm going to join it just so you see that I'm doing exactly the same as I did over here. I did the chain 1, and I'm just gonna jump in here and make double crochet and another one into the corner, and continue with picking back up in this first space here. So I'm just gonna do like this so I have it fairly secured, like so. So why am I jumping straight to the next one instead of finishing this square off? And that is because I'm working my way. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the end here. So I'm working my way up through the squares, down, up, across the next, down, up, across the next, and I'm going to continue until I get to the end. And when I get to the end, I'm going to show you here on this previous round, you know, I worked my way over here and all the way there, and then I went up here and all the way straight across, all the way down to here where I attach the next one. So when I'm totally finished, I will go back to, well, attaching, and then across the whole section. And as well, this corner is not finished, so I'm gonna go around the finished edges to finish them off. So it's only one side that will have this part done. It's going to be done all the way on this side, but the other sides will still have the last outer edge to be finished. But that also makes it a lot easier to make everything in one swoop to finish the outside. And now when I have all of the squares combined, or like together in the center. So I'm only gonna just work the corners, or like the edges. So that's just a little bit of how I am joining one type of square. I'm not saying this works on every type of square. I think it looks really nice with all these colorful squares to have this black joining edge. And it is a little bit different to some of the other joins out there. There's probably other ones that is similar, but I haven't really seen anyone doing this type of joining on squares like this. So yeah, here's the back of it. I hope it might inspire you to go and pick up some squares and play along with that, because I usually don't do squares, and Dawn has inspired me to deal with the squares that just once was forgotten. And I'm hoping to figure out what this project is going to end up becoming in some type of near future. I just need to make sure I have enough squares or more black yarn, because I'm going to run out of the black yarn as well at this rate, because I didn't have that much to start with. But I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, inspiration is what I wanted to bring to the table here, so maybe it will inspire you a little bit. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and if you like what I do on my channel, there's links to my other social medias, or if you want to buy me a coffee, and the option is totally yours. But just leave a comment and a thumbs up. That, you know, brings a smile to my face. Thank you very much, and bye bye.